important to medicine because it helps in finding the cure to most diseases. Understanding chemistry also helps us to understand how vitamins, supplements, and drugs can help or harm you. Chemical reactions occur when you breathe, eat, or even sleep. Chemistry is a huge part of medicine, both as a diagnostic and treatment tool. It departments in hospital medical labs analyzing blood, urine, protein, sugar, and other metabolic and inorganic substances. Chemistry works with chemotherapy, which develops any chemical forms of cancer treatment. Also provide us with the necessary stuff to use anesthesia during a surgery. And thanks to it, we can have vaccines, since we need several chemicals and germs to make them. Chemistry is involved in tweaking molecules to interact appropriately with the body. Thanks to chemistry, we have medicines like pills and any other antibiotic. Chemistry is related to food because of the chemical compounds found in all of our foods. Everything we eat is made up of oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, and carbon. The only difference is how these elements are organized in different foods, which also affects how certain foods are digested and metabolized. Also, the majority of time we're cooking with fire, and putting the food on the fire is part of a chemical change. Chemistry contributes to the growing of natural products like fruits or vegetables. It uses different sources to modify their DNA so they can have more advantages like vitamins and a better development. This is called agronomy, and it is a science that involves chemistry and food.
The Earth is caught between too hot and too cold. At the moment, the average temperature of the Earth is 15 degrees. Our planet has to balance receiving too much heat from the sun and burning up and giving out too much heat to outer space and freezing. It is known as the Goldilocks syndrome. The Goldilocks syndrome is this: the balance from too cold and too hot. The Earth is neither too far away from the sun, nor is it too close to the sun. This means the Earth doesn't lack of enough heat nor receives too much heat. The controlling mechanism for controlling the temperature of the Earth are gases in the atmosphere that allows visible light to pass through but traps reflective heat, energy, or infrared light. These gases are water vapor, methane, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen oxide, ozone, and freon. The latter freons were used in refrigerators until it was discovered that they were getting into the atmosphere and destroying the ozone layer. Carbon dioxide is often singled out as a greenhouse effect. We need some carbon dioxide in the atmosphere to trap heat, but not too much. Carbon is the basis of organic life. Mammal respiratory systems exhale carbon dioxide. It is also, along with water and sunlight, vital to plant, tree, and algae growth. The inorganic carbon involved in burning fossil fuels is increasing the parts per million count of carbon in the air to levels of no return, where the ice caps will melt, a third of existing landmass will disappear, and the weather patterns will change. One solution to the carbon dioxide problem is to derive an energy system that doesn't produce carbon dioxide as waste. Hydrogen in power produces H2O or water as waste. We are as yet a long way of replacing fossil fuels with hydrogen cells. The other greenhouse gas is methane. This has led to speculation that rises in temperature before the Industrial Revolution must be due to sudden expansion in ruminant farming.
And I'm gonna talk about the three more important measures that Mexicans can take in from the situation of the melting of the polar ice cap. In view of the direct relationship between the phenomenon of greenhouse gases, global warming, and the melting of the polar ice caps, The more reasonable measures that Mexicans must take have to do mainly with the emission of greenhouse gases. First, save energy in home. This is something we can do with simple measures, like turning off the lights, use daylight, replacing incandescent bulbs with energy-saving light bulbs or LED lights, etc. So there is no excuse. Start creating this culture of savings in your family and be the change. Second, use mass transportation on bike. In Mexico, the number of cars that roam streets, avenues, and highways is a total of 22 million units. Here's plight is that almost half are older than 20 years, and only 30% of the car fleet has at least 10 years. This, in addition to causing traffic trouble, causes massive emissions of carbon dioxide, and this involves diseases in the population and, of course, global warming and its consequences. So it's time to become aware and opt for public transport over long distances and to never places, walk, or ride a bike. Third, support the use of clean energy sources. This is something that the government should do. Spend a certain amount of resources for the design of electric energy production plants using solar, wind, or hydro energy. Chemical warfare involves using the toxic properties of chemical substances as weapons. The military acronym for nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons are weapons of mass destruction. A chemical used in warfare is called a chemical warfare agent. About 70 different chemicals have been used as chemical warfare agents during the 20th and 21st centuries. These agents may be in liquid, gas, or solid form. Chemical warfare was introduced to a shock war during the First World War. The French fired tear gas rifle grenade in November 1914 is an example of the relationship between chemistry and war.
Learn to fly, show the world.